Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Julio Fopoli here. Welcome to this lesson. Today I'm going to share with you a lesson that I created for beginning students. This is for actually what we call zero beginners. What's a zero beginner? Well, it's an A1 student.
An A1 Spanish learner is a beginner who is just starting to learn the basics of the language.
Play the audio a couple of times to actually understand what's going on, get a feel for what they are saying, and when you feel confident, when you feel that you kind of have it, transcribe every single word you hear.
Buenos días, me llamo Elena. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Buenos días, Elena. Soy Mario. ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, gracias. Mucho gusto, Elena.
El gusto es mío, Mario. Chao.
Nos vemos, Elena.
So how did you do? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm all for knowing how difficult this exercise was. Spot the 7 differences between the audio you hear and the transcript below.
Buenos días, me llamo Elena. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Buenos días, Elena. Soy Mario. ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, gracias. Mucho gusto, Elena.
El gusto es mío, Mario. Chao.
Nos vemos, Elena.
Bueno, ¿listos para chequear las respuestas? Ready to check your answers? Well, something important to mention here is that in this exercise, it's okay if you just identify areas where the words are different, even if you cannot actually get the actual words that are being said. That's fine. So right now, we are going to try to identify where there are differences. I assume that you already tried to do this on your own. So these are basically the answers, right? Now, the first difference that we have can be found here. Mi nombre es Elena. Well, actually, it doesn't say this phrase. Mi nombre es Elena. What phrase they say, we'll find out in the next exercise. But if you got it, good. The next one is, ¿cuál es su nombre? Again, this is the second difference. ¿Cuál es su nombre? They don't say this. Me llamo Mario. Me llamo. Again, they don't say that. Y usted is not there. Y usted. Más o menos is not there. Encantada is not there. And then there's something missing here. That's another difference. So these are the 7 differences. If in addition to identifying the differences, you were also able to get the missing words, the actual missing words, well, for exercise 3, you won't have to listen to anything. But if you haven't, if you just identified where some things were just there or not there, or they were just different, well, this exercise is for you. So here the idea is to fill out the gaps with the words you hear. Buenos días. Blank. Elena. Then we have a question. Espacio. Buenos días, Elena. Something else. Mario. ¿Qué tal? Muy bien, gracias. Una pregunta. We need to get the answer. Mucho gusto, Elena. Blank. Mario. Something else. Nos vemos, Elena. See you later, Elena. And that's basically it. So now, again, I'm going to play the video once here. You feel free to play it as many times as you need to actually and go back and forth to try to get the missing words. And once you have this, you will be ready to check your answers.
Buenos días, me llamo Elena. ¿Cómo te llamas?
Buenos días, Elena. Soy Mario. ¿Qué tal?
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Muy bien, gracias. Mucho gusto, Elena.
El gusto es mío, Mario. Chao.
Nos vemos, Elena.
Bueno, es momento de chequear nuestras respuestas. Entonces, a ver, número 1. Cuando la mujer dice buenos días, luego dice me llamo Elena. Buenos días, me llamo Elena. Y aquí dice, en la número 2, ¿cómo te llamas? What's your name? ¿Cómo te llamas? El hombre responde, buenos días, Elena. Soy Mario. Esto es lo que dice, soy, I am Mario. ¿Qué tal? A lo que la mujer responde, muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Número 4, ¿y tú? El hombre dice, muy bien, gracias. Muy bien, gracias. Número 5, mucho gusto, Elena. Y la mujer responde, el gusto es mío. El gusto es mío. The pleasure is mine. Chao. Nos vemos, Elena. ¿Y cómo te fue en esta? How did you do in this exercise? Write your answers in the comment section below. Ahora vamos al siguiente ejercicio. Ejercicio número 4. Well, exercise 4 is more for vocabulary, actually. And what you have to do is to match each question or each phrase, I would say, to the correct answer, to the way it was answered. For example, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Qué tal? Mucho gusto, Elena. And buenos días. And here we have the answers, but they are not in the right order. So I'm going to give you some time to think about this, and in a moment we're going to be checking our answers. If you need more time, pause the video now. Okay, let's check our answers. So if someone says, ¿cómo te llamas? Remember that the double L can be pronounced llamas, or ya, y, or j, like the J in John. So I could have said this, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Or ¿cómo te llamas? And the answer for this would be, soy Mario. Soy Mario. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? The answer is, muy bien, gracias. Muy bien, gracias. Now, in this case, mucho gusto, Elena. Mucho gusto, Elena. The right answer is, el gusto es mío. El gusto es mío. And then, buenos días. Buenos días. Usually we repeat the same. Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, hola, buenas noches. Bueno, ahora vamos al ejercicio número 5. Let's move on to exercise number 5. Now, as the exercise suggests, here you have to put the dialogue in order. This is good to make you analyze the conversation, how it goes, how it connects. It could be a challenging exercise. So I'll give you some time to think about this, and in a moment we're going to check. If you need time to think about this, just pause the video. Bueno, ¿listos para chequear las respuestas? Ready to check your answers? Let's do it. Bueno, la primera, número 1, es cuando la mujer dice, buenos días, me llamo Elena, ¿cómo te llamas? Número 2, el hombre responde, the man answers, buenos días, Elena, soy Mario, ¿qué tal? Número 3, la mujer dice, muy bien, gracias, ¿y tú? Número 4. Muy bien, gracias. Mucho gusto, Elena. Número 5. El gusto es mío, Mario. Chao. Y la última, número 6. Nos vemos, Elena. Bueno, ejercicio 6. This exercise is ideal if you have someone to work with, maybe if you are in a class or maybe you have a partner or someone who can help you do these conversations. But here's the essence of this. If you are in pairs or in a class setting, use the names in the charts below to practice the dialogue with a partner. Each student will use the names listed in the column with the option of choosing a masculine or a feminine name. Practice twice, switching roles each time. So, for example, we have estudiante 1 and estudiante 2. So say that I'm working with someone. Well, I'm a guy, so I may choose Roberto. Of course, I mean, you can do whatever you want. But, for example, if I'm estudiante 1, I choose Roberto. And if I'm talking to a partner and this is, for example, a lady, maybe she uses the name Maria. Of course, you can change that. No big deal. And the idea is that you have a similar conversation to the one we've been practicing, so that, well, you put your vocabulary and everything to use. So an example of this could be, so that we do Elena and Mario. Bueno, buenos días, Elena. ¿Cómo te llamas? Of course, this is conversation, right? You have to practice, or you may need to practice this a little bit. But, bueno, some possible conversation could be, buenos días, me llamo Elena. ¿Cómo te llamas? To which Mario answers, buenos días, Elena, soy Mario, ¿qué tal? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Muy bien, gracias. Mucho gusto, Elena. El gusto es mío, Mario. Chao. Nos vemos, Elena. The idea is to practice this as many times as possible so that it begins to sound natural, right? And pay attention to the way the speakers talk in the original dialogue and try to imitate that. Bueno, this conversation between Ana and Gerardo, in which Ana says, buenos días, me llamo Ana, ¿cómo te llamas? Buenos días, Ana, soy Gerardo, ¿qué tal? Muy bien, gracias, ¿y tú? Muy bien, gracias, mucho gusto, Ana. El gusto es mío, Gerardo, chao. Nos vemos, Ana. Now, and after you've done all this, a very good exercise could be, a very good idea would be to compare this dialogue, I mean the transcript and the translation side by side. So you can see that on the left you have the Spanish, on the right you have the English. These are very simple conversations, so you may not have a lot of questions or doubts about this, but if you do, I really encourage you to spend some time looking at that. We're not going to be doing that right now, but it's a good idea, and you have it there on the activities. Bueno, amigos, esto es todo por hoy. This is all for today. I hope you have enjoyed this lesson and especially that you have learned a way to use old school materials in a very productive way. If you do this systematically with the materials that I'm creating for you, you will see that in no time your listening comprehension will skyrocket. Bueno, amigos, I hope you have enjoyed this lesson. My name is Julio Fopoli, and remember, I want you to speak Spanish like a pro. Nos vemos pronto. Chao, chao.